Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host Jayden and Joining me here is my co-host Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
Pretty good. Pretty
All
solid.
right. Very late night recording for us compared to our usual time, so we'll see how this goes. Might be a little different, but we are starting with a collar and elbow question as always. This week, Shane, once again, I'm asking you who is the odd man out. This is a game where I'm going to give Shane 10 wrestlers. He has to gets three questions to narrow down which wrestler doesn't belong in the group, and then once we've narrowed it down, he has to try to guess why they don't belong in the group. So Shane, the wrestlers I have given you here are Mil Mascaras, the Macho Man Randy Savage, Big Van Vader, Hulk Hogan, Chris Jericho, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, Rob Van Dam, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So what's your first question?
Are they born in the U.S.?
No.
Okay.
Wow, did that narrow it down to just Mill and Jericho?
Just Mill.
Jericho was born in Canada. Oh, so then, damn, this is gonna mess it up because it was Jericho. Because I thought Jericho was born in Canada.
No, he was born in New York. So so it's Jericho, right?
All right, here's what we're gonna do. All right, I have a bunch of these pre-made.
Well, I can get. I don't know what I don't know what it is.
I mean, do you want to guess what the list is, and then we'll just do another one too, because I have a bunch of these.
Is he the? I mean, technically, he's the only one of these guys wrestling New Japan.
Hogan did,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
and so did Mysterio.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. We watched both of those matches. I'm horrible.
Yeah,
What is it? I can't
Jericho's the only one that's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. The rest of those guys
tell.
are.
My goodness, I don't think I would have ever gotten that.
All right, here. I'm downloading another one. I'm going to send you the picture with all of them.
It's not gonna beat
Because I
our.
messed it up
It's not gonna beat the one where I got it right away.
with Texas. Yes. Okay. So we'll try this again. Odd one out. We'll leave all this in because it was my mistake. So your new list is Brock Lesnar, Sheamus, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Hulk Hogan, Seth Rollins, once again the Macho Man Randy Savage, Batista, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton.
Okay. Have they won their respective main event title?
Yes.
Okay, so that actually didn't help. That's just Shinsuke. Oops.
Okay, well, Shinsuke's out. Cross off Shinsuke.
Right. Have they been a full-time wrestler in the mid 2000s?
No.
Okay, so not
So that gets rid of
Lesnar, Rollins, Batista,
Orton. So that leaves Hogan, Charlotte, Bayley, Sheamus, and Macho Man.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, one more question.
Are they in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
So the top three. Okay.
So it's Hogan or Macho Man. So I guess you just got to take a stab at it now.
Is it Macho Man?
It is Macho Man. Can you guess the category?
I mean, Macho did appear on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, so I could be going that way.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know that's a thing. So throw that out.
You should watch that. It is sensational. This one technically counts. Is
Macho Man.
Macho Man the only one to wrestle for TNA?
He may be. The category I had, no, Hogan wrestled for TNA.
Oh yeah, you're right. I read about that.
The category I had, he's the only one that hasn't won the Royal Rumble. That never won a Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah,
Lesnar,
you're right.
Sheamus,
You're right.
Bayley, Charlotte, Hogan, all won Rumbles. Rollins, Batista, Shinsuke, and Orton all won Rumbles. Macho Man never won the Royal Rumble.
I also tried to mind blank the memory of Hogan and TNA.
Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair. All right, let's get on with the news. We're already one segment in, and we're already feeling the effects of the late night recording. Starting with AEW. Speaking of Royal Rumbles, 1992 Royal Rumble winner Ric Flair is effectively done with AEW. How do you feel about this?
I think after Sting retired, there was nothing for him to do.
Yeah.
Ever.
With Sting retired and Andrade not there anymore, especially.
Yeah.
Because what connection does he have to anybody now?
He doesn't have any. I mean, he can go back to. He might go back to WWE.
Unless Arn and Tully come back.
He could come WWE. Are you trying to book the Four Horsemen coming back?
Yeah, and I want
guess who's not there? Pillman Jr.
Okay, well, the fourth horseman that I was gonna pick was gonna be Stokely Hathaway. Duh.
He already was in the Four Horsemen. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it's in really small text.
Yeah. So yeah, there was obviously nothing much for him to do after Sting, and honestly,
and especially because I don't even think Woo Energy exists anymore.
Nobody. Okay, Woo Energy was probably poison. I cannot say for sure, but it was
legally we can't say it is. However, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah. But really, I don't think anybody, at least on the fan side, wanted him involved. I don't know if anybody at AEW wanted him involved other than Sting.
I think him turning on Sting would have been a kind of a funny bookmark to the whole story of Ric Flair and Sting.
It would have been the worst possible thing to do to Sting.
It would be horrible. Will it be? Because it happened every single time those two have teamed up. It happened.
I don't want...
Every single time.
There's no way that it would have been a good thing for Sting's final match to end up being about Ric Flair.
It would only be good if Sting finally sees it coming and gets him with that drop.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen. It's Ric Flair's not to take that pump.
Yeah.
So, in the grand scheme of things, that Flair was just there for Sting, and now Sting's gone and Andrade is gone. And anybody who cares about Flair's gone, there's no point.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no point after Evolution in the first place, so...
MXM as well as Rachel Ellering have signed with, specifically it was said they signed with AEW / Ring of Honor. So I expect them to be on Ring of Honor first and then maybe move their way up to AEW. What do you think of these signings?
I think that they did sign Rachel Ellering because of her commitment to Lumberjack, as she came out is the only one in flannel.
Yes.
And she had mentioned that, yes, this was because of a Lumberjack match.
Yeah.
I respect that.
MXM, by the way, for the people who don't know, that is formerly Mansoor and Mace of the Maximum Male Models in WWE. What does Mace go by now?
I think it's like a Mason Madden
or something. Yeah. So that's who it is. And then anything else to say on those two?
They're very talented wrestlers who really, unlike a lot of guys on the current indie scene, can work a character more than they can work in the ring as compared to other guys.
In a wrestling sense, they feel like character actors. They can hold their own in the ring. They deserve to be on TV and ring ability wise, right? But they're really great character actors. So I think that's a really exciting thing. I would love to see their interactions with guys like Orange Cassidy, guys like Mark Briscoe, Stokely Hathaway, Smart Mark Sterling, even, and the Premier Athletes would be fun. I think they could have a lot of fun interactions. Them interacting with Okada and the Elite in any way would be interesting. And then in other news, MJF. I guess it's a good time to address this. We are recording this Wednesday night. Neither one of us have been able to watch Blood and Guts yet, so we aren't going to talk about Dynamite in general.
I've only seen one clip of Blood and Guts, and it is the exact clip that I would have seen. Yeah. You'll know what I mean when you see the match.
The only thing I've seen is that MJF has changed the international title into the American title, which is just a great heel move. I like that. But he is going to defend the American title in CMLL against Templario.
I like that match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what MJF's doing, but I will say that for next time.
I think it'll work. I think MJF can make it work. Anything work. And then over in WWE land, we got a couple of big pieces of news here. First, MVP and quite possibly more importantly, Bobby Lashley appear to be leaving WWE. Thoughts? I'm just going to leave the floor open to you.
You know, when Bobby left in like '08,
Mm-hmm.
I think or something like that.
Oh wait, probably yeah.
That
around
was
roughly.
such a mistake because I don't get it. I don't get what they don't see in Bobby Lashley that I see in Bobby Lashley.
You know what's crazy is like, how many times have they tried to make the next Goldberg?
Several times.
Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan, Ryback, like Luther Reigns. Like, how many times have they tried to have a dominant guy be like? Is that funny?
So I was thinking the Luther Reigns Thanksgiving bit. which
Yeah.
we will. I hope.
I don't know if Luther Reigns was really in that. I was just trying to name another random
no,
big guy.
no, but I don't know either. But
Bobby Lashley was right there. He could have
Not
been Goldberg
only
too.
was he could have been Goldberg too. He was better than Goldberg.
Yeah.
That that first run of his, if you give him more time and like let him develop more, he might be the best wrestler. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
We never got him versus Marcus Corban, and to this day think that's a national tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Well, because like think about like the evolution of that style of, like he could have taken the Goldberg mantle and then passed that to Braun Breaker. You know what I mean? Like that presence, but I don't know. Shelton Benjamin is floating around the NDC and right now. Thoughts on a reuniting the Hurt Business? Where do you want to see Bobby and MVP go? Do you want to see them together, separate? What are your overall thoughts?
I would kind of like to see her business, but keep in mind they're all getting older.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Shelton Benjamin's more suited for like that GCW type run where he just goes, fights Jordan Oliver and some guys in like a 4-weekend sweep, and people love it, and he gets signed to do TNA for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Bobby feels like he's got 5 years in the tank.
Yeah. 5 really solid main event years.
So I think he's probably going to go either back to TNA, thankfully reset that main event scene, or the AEW where he can challenge for that title.
You said TNA main event scene. I just thought about Moose. Can you imagine a Moose and Lashley tag team?
Why would you get Bobby Lashley?
Doom 2?
Why would you get Bobby Lashley?
It'd be like Doom again.
It wouldn't be as good as Doom.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty good. I don't know.
Moose is kind of like for how high up the card he is. He just seems to me to just never deliver.
Oh, okay.
In a way, he feels
All
like
right.
he should be better than he is.
What if Bobby Lashley joins up with Hook Shibata and Samoa Joe?
Can we put Bobby Lashley in the even better faction?
The conglomeration?
Yeah, the conglomeration of.
I don't think he fits. He's not weird enough.
Does anybody in that faction fit each other?
No, you gotta be weird. You gotta be weird.
Bobby Lashley can be weird. You're forgetting that like before COVID Raw.
I choose to forget before COVID.
Okay,
and during COVID.
I guess,
Raw.
yeah, fair point.
Now MVP in the conglomeration. That's a whole different story. My idea. I think MVP should go back to Japan, wrestle part-time, and help book in New Japan.
I could see that. And that brings me to a point. I could see Shelton,
Or MVP
Shelton
go
Benjamin.
help book Ring of Honor or something. I think MVP's such a good mind. He has to start booking somewhere.
I think if he first starts booking, I think one final Shelton X Benjamin run in New Japan, being managed and sometimes a little team with them if MVP is probably the way to go. With both of them.
Yeah.
And he'll come back, and I kind of want him to start helping booking with like TNA because they need it.
Yeah, TNA could use it.
I guess they can all go TNA.
Use it. Yeah.
Okay. They got Hurt versus TNA.
Her business
So
TNA.
it would be MVP's old faction name, whatever it was.
And would you try to add another fourth guy from TNA's current roster or the Indies to the Hurt Business? I mean, if you're talking TNA, I don't really want to split up ABC, but like Chris Bay.
I think, well, looking at the Beatdown Clan before, if Kenny King's still around,
Kenny King would be good.
I mean, he was with Lashley and MVP in the Beatdown Clan.
Okay.
You could throw him in. He'd be a perfect fit.
That would be Be cool. I was trying to think of somebody like maybe a bit younger, but I'm completely blanking now. But see, sending them going to TNA would be cool because they could still have a relationship with WWE also.
You can imagine like a fired WWE talent goes to TNA and then shows up on NXT. We've already done this with. We'll talk about it if you talk about NXT. We'll talk about it. That actually just happened.
With Zach Wentz.
Yeah, Zach Wentz.
Yeah.
So hey, you know what? You got a better name now. So I think he won in the end.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where Bobby and MVP go. Honestly, we were talking about MVP booking. How good would an MVP, like the some sort of VIP something for the collective be? MVP runs a GCW show, and it's like all like red carpet and like the ropes, and it's
If they
VIP night.
If they do like Montel the Montel Montavious Porter free agent showcase,
That'd be
where
cool.
it's a showcase of the hottest free agents, quote unquote,
In professional wrestling.
like throw it back to his debut.
I'm thinking red carpet down the rampway. No barricades, just velvet ropes, or maybe velvet ropes in front of the barricades. Right?
Yeah, I this could really work.
Yeah. Yeah, the MVP is a VIP showcase. Montel, yeah, something like that. I don't know. And then in other WWE news, we have it was announced that Naomichi Marufuji will be on Japanese commentary for SummerSlam.
Which, what, what, huh? What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard him do commentary. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know
I
how
mean,
will he be. But
when Stephanie McMahon was doing commentary for that Rumble that one year, I will admit to turning it over to Japanese commentary just because the vibes.
I'm telling you right now, if he did commentary in English, he would be better than Booker T.
But shout out to Funaki,
Yeah,
who did
SmackDown's #1 announcer.
who was the color commentator for a long time, and
It might be just a 3-man booth. Are they kicking Funaki out?
I don't know.
It might just be a 3-man booth.
Thank goodness, because Funaki.
Because it sounds like he's going to be on as a guest.
That'd be fun. I don't know what he's gonna do. If we get Marufuji teased on a PLE
Pay-per-view. PPV.
if we get Marufuji teased on WPPV pay-per-view, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Actually, lose my mind.
Let me find. All right, the current SummerSlam card, right? We have Punk and against McIntyre with special ref Rollins. We have Sammy versus Braun Breaker. I'm going to skip the women's matches because they won't apply to my question, but we do have Liv versus Rhea and Bayley versus Nia. We have Logan Paul versus LA Knight, Damian Priest versus Gunther, Cody Rhodes versus Sikoa. Who give me out of the men that were on that list, who would you want to see Marufuji teased against?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker
or AJ or Cody.
Or Cody. Okay. I mean, I don't know enough about Marufuji to really match him up style wise. Would he be good with Sammy? I mean, everybody's good with
Everybody's
Sammy.
good with Sammy. But he slowed. We watched one match of it. Two matches
of his.
And I think he's slowed down a little.
Okay.
But he still works that hard-hitting style, so I guess.
So maybe a Cody match?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I mean, he just wrestled AJ, and AJ and Cody are kind of... I mean, they're not obviously the same, but they're kind of similar skill set.
And Cody does like taking stupidly hard moves, so...
Oh, dude, Cody would blade for him so good. So good. In other company news, El Desperado of New Japan Pro Wrestling had surgery on his meniscus. He's going to be out. Typically, that's a 4 to 8 week injury, so he'll be out for a couple months. I would say don't worry. He should easily be back. Yeah,
by time for
by October. Yeah,
whatever they're gonna do with him. Not a Leo's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Brutus Creed to face Tom Lawler at Bloodsport 11, as well as Julius Creed to face Matt Mikowski. What are your thoughts on this, and who is Matt Mikowski?
I wish I knew. I'm excited to see Brutus finally get like a showcase match of his own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is the best match involving WWE talent on the
But
card.
what do you think of the fact that this is a WWE talent wrestling a New Japan talent on a GCW show?
Well, New Japan talent's kind of pushing it, but I think it's exciting. You
Yeah.
know, they think I'd be seeing this.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see GCW at all working
Can
with
you
WWE.
believe that this started with Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Charlie Dempsey?
Was that the first one? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the year. That was the very first one, and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but so far it's peaked with that in terms of in ring quality.
Yeah. I mean, how was the AJ Styles Marufuji match?
It was good,
It was
but
pretty good.
it's not a guy in his peak against a younger guy. It's two
That's just
older
true.
guys. So
Who did Shayna wrestle at the Collective on
last
Bloodsport? At
year,
Bloodsport.
it I don't remember. I don't. It's drawing a blank, but
Um,
she's in the best match this year at this sport. So
who's she
I'll give
facing
her
at the Bloodsport?
Yamashita.
Okay,
So it's gonna be good either way.
Masha Slamovich. That's who Shayna faced.
Okay, so that was good too. I like both of them, but I think this time around that's the best match is Shayna is Baszler versus Yamashita, and
Yeah.
it's exciting times we live in. It really is.
You want to talk some more TNA?
I guess. Do we
So
have
we
to?
had a few major title changes at Slammiversary. ABC, that is the Austin Bay connection. That is Ace Austin and Chris Bay win the tag titles.
Thank goodness.
Mike Bailey dethrones Mustafa Ali as X Division champion. What does this mean for the Ali campaign?
You lose some primaries every once in a while.
Okay.
You can't win every Super Tuesday event.
Okay.
But you know what? The general's coming up. I think Ali will win general.
All right. And finally, the artist formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, now known as Nick Nemeth, has captured the TNA World Title.
I don't get it. I'll just say I don't get it because I don't.
I've always thought he's really good. I really like Dolph Ziggler. And I haven't watched much from this Nick Nemeth run. I watched a little bit of the Japan stuff, and I thought that was pretty good. And if this is where TNA thinks they need to go for this, hey,
I feel like it's kind of like it's the same thing with when Jeff Jarrett won the title and just held it forever and ever, and they wouldn't drop it to younger stars. I think they're just too afraid of like a Joe Henry type guy because of how popular he is in NXT that he's gonna jump. That's the kind of thing that I get.
So what you think is TNA thinks that they're a realistic third major American brand and not just 2000s Ring of Honor for current times?
Yes. That's the vibe I get because they're on TV.
Except for they're way worse than 2000s Ring of Honor?
Yes. Which is a given.
Yeah.
But
because, like,
they
Henry
weren't.
was such an obvious... He was so stupidly over. I mean, he is still so stupidly over.
But again, it's like when they were this upstart company and they didn't want to give the title to Monty Brown because they thought Monty Brown would win the title and let's go right to WWE.
Okay.
Which I guess they're proven right in because he did jump, but
Yeah.
it's like that because look how over Joe Henry is in NXT.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. How were they not worried about Christian Cage just winning the title and then using that to jump back to WWE? I don't know. Never mind. That's a conversation for another day.
I think the way he exited,
Yeah.
the way they wouldn't clear him again, it was different.
Okay. So time to talk some G1 Climax?
I believe so.
All right. For those of you who are not aware of what the G1 Climax is, this is the biggest wrestling tournament probably on the yearly calendar, probably in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the King of the Ring is huge, but I don't think it's treated with the same
the King of the Ring is huge, but it doesn't really go anywhere, and it's not annual.
Yeah, I think it will become annual.
The C2 just started.
Yep.
The Champion Carnival, the Noah tournament.
CMLL has something, I think.
But that's just a tag team match these days.
Oh, I thought they had another one that was like a round robin thing.
I think they do, but like the other ones,
MLW's Opera Cup.
They're just not the same level.
Yeah, they aren't. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the bigger tournaments. I think if you are deep enough into the wrestling sphere to follow New Japan in any way, you kind of see this as the biggest tournament of the year. It is a round robin tournament, 2 groups of 10. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss. In the A block, we're going to do a standings update first, and then we'll talk about our guys, our picks for the tournament, the guys we're following all the way through, right? So, in the A block with 6 points is Evil and my guy Zack Sabre Jr. 4 points is Shingo Takagi and Gabe Kidd. 2 points Tetsuya Naito, who is the reigning champion, as well as Jake Lee from Noah, Callum Newman, Sonata, and Shota Umino, and then Great Khan sitting at the bottom with 0 points. In the B block, only 2, as of now, 3 A block matches have taken place for each wrestler, 2 B block. So it's 4 points as the top in the B block. Yuya Uemura, Hinare, and Konosuke Takeshita. With 2 points, we got your boy Yota Tsuji, Oleg Bolton, Jeff Cobb, and Ren Narita. And then we have 3 with 0 being El Phantasmo, Haruki Goto, and David Finlay.
And Phantasmo's out.
Is Phantasmo out? Did he get injured?
Didn't we talk about him getting surgery?
That was El Desperado.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wrong
So
L.
Phantasmo's still in.
Yes.
I mean, it's so far so good for the tournament. I'm a little concerned that Evil's going to win, and we're going to have a classic Evil stinker at Wrestle Kingdom. So
All right. That is fair. So, do you want to talk Yota Tsuji first, or do you want me to talk Zack Sabre
so
first?
I'll go with you to Suji first, because we've had some great matches in here so far.
All right, so let's start with the opening match of the tournament for you guys over in Camp Suji. Konosuke Takeshita. How'd that go?
I told you that getting the loss out of the way first would probably be the way to go, because when you're undefeated, you just have all the pressure on you.
Uh-huh.
And the way that Tsuji went in the match gave me hope, and it showed why that we could win this.
All right, so you liked the performance overall.
I did like the performance. Very good match.
And then a big main event competition against David Finlay.
Leader of Bullet Club. So automatically
Big position.
some big points, because a leader of a faction, when you're realistically probably the heir to a throne of a faction, you want to have some strong matches there.
That's the quarterback, right? The leader of a faction.
Yeah,
That's the most important position in New Japan.
And I'll be real. David Finley's kind of like the Daniel Jones of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a star. He's got a star behind him.
Oh,
and
come on, give him a little bit more
Gabe Kidd's Saquon Barkley, and
give him something with a little bit more potential at least. Come on, Daniel Jones.
what do you want me to say?
Hey, it's all right. It's your comp, man.
Like a JJ McCarthy,
I guess
it's the same. This is the same thing. He's that quarterback, but he's got that star skill position player.
Okay, I'll take JJ McCarthy. But yeah, okay. So that's what we're looking at. Thursday, you got El Phantasmo. What's the preview? What's the game plan?
Easy win, I think. El Phantasmo is an unserious wrestler, and at this point, he's got nobody. He's got nobody with him.
He is kind of shaking. I mean, all he's got left is Yado.
He's got a guy who can't really walk that well in the ring. So he's looking like he's going to be defenseless. He's got to find a faction and join.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bullet Club's will let him back in.
He feels like I was always confused by the God thing anyway, because he felt like an obvious fit for Chaos. I don't know, maybe there was some salary cap issues or something.
I mean, who knows? If with the loss of Okada, that's a lot of cap opening up.
That is a lot of cap opening up.
So we'll see. We'll have to see. He could be a great seventh man, come off the floor, come off the bench, and just pick up some points here and there.
Yeah. And then you got Haruki Goto on Saturday in the main event of that card.
The main event. Hiroki Goto is the least clutch performer I've ever seen.
But he's going to rough you up.
He could rough us up, but that doesn't matter.
He's the Pittsburgh Steelers, dude. He's going to rough you up, but he's going to go 9-8.
That doesn't matter when Yoda gets that pinfall.
All right.
Because it's a big match. And just like, Justin Herbert can't win the big game, so what do you know?
All right. Time for Zack Sabre Jr. So, here's where we are in camp ZSJ, all right? It's coming home. All right, Chris Charlton's been saying it on the broadcast. I'm all the way with him. It's coming home. But we have some huge odds to face. There have been 33 G1 Climax tournaments. How many of those do you think have been won by non-Japanese wrestlers?
You can ask me, then I'll tell you the exact question. It's like 1 as the G1 Climax. Overall, it's like 3.
Okay, so it is. Yeah, that is correct. So there's 1 in the G1 Climax, the G1 Climax era, the modern era. It is 1, and that is Kenny by
Omega.
God Omega. There were 16 tournaments prior to the G1 era. 14 were won by Japanese wrestlers. The other 2 were Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. So we are talking
Big names.
3 bona fide pro wrestling Hall of Famers, right? The top of the top.
Not first ballot, man.
First ballot guys who you could argue for the Mount Rushmore, right? So we have, being backing a British guy here. It is tough. It's a tough hill to climb. We're off to a great start. All right, Great O'Con. I took notes on this. There were a few strategy issues here from both sides. I didn't like how willing Zach was to face Great O'Con on the outside. I don't feel like that fits our game plan. I don't think that's a good move. It ended up working out. He wins the match. Great O'Con's strategy was to kind of try to mimic Zach and try to take him to the mat, which I just thought that's why you have 0 points, man. You can't wrestle other guys' strategies. And we're going to talk about the Callum Newman, but Callum Newman's unexperienced, man. Great O'Con's been around forever. I didn't like Zach seemed to be breathing quite heavy in the Great O'Con match. Maybe he was playing himself into shape, right? But it was a little concerning. So we'll just keep that note for later. Against Naito, something I noticed, pride might be an issue for Zach. He might get a little bit over prideful, but get a little proud. So that's a problem. Watch out for that, and that could hurt you in the tournament as we go farther. Left shoulder, something to watch. It was looking rough, and also this is just a compliment to Naito. The way he countered the Zach Driver into a Destino was absolutely beautiful. But we got the win against the champion, which
is big in the G1.
I've been told historically that's bad.
Yes, usually it is.
Usually, you beat the champion, you don't end up winning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn. And we're already fighting history here.
You already the guy's going to beat the champion. It's not looking good.
And then against Callum Newman, it was a great effort by Newman, but ultimately Zach won just because he's an experienced man. Like he won the play-in on a fluke and got his way into this tournament, and I just don't think it's going to go well.
So what I'm hearing is you've faced a 0-3 guy, the champion, and a young guy.
Yeah.
That's not the best competition there.
I know, a champion who, by the way, is facing washed allegations.
You've got a fluke of a 3-0 right there. Yota Tsuji's got 1 win, 1 loss, but that 1 win's against a leader of a stable, and a loss is against one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. So, I mean, you tell me.
I know. It's looking interesting. I mean, Yota Tsuji's definitely a heavy favorite in this tournament. I think he's one of the next guys up in New Japan. But, Zach could be the ace right now, man. He's got that top Gaijin spot locked in. It's just a matter of turning that into a G1.
Also, Labour did just get a complete and total landslide in the UK election. And historically, when a conservative prime minister has been in office, he has not done well. So this could change everything.
This could change everything. I like the way you're thinking. So that's where we are. We got Jake Lee on Saturday. That could go
either way.
Either way.
He's kind of the mystery there.
He's a big mystery. Because, we haven't seen much of Jake Lee. If you're a New Japan viewer, like I am, I don't watch Noah, so I don't really know what to expect there.
You're playing like that undrafted guy in a 10-day there.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Well, it's more like a guy with a lot of potential but had injuries in college. You know what I mean? You don't quite know what you're gonna get from him, but it could be Zion, right? Like he could be great, but he might be bad. You know what I mean?
You're playing the Cam Rising.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
the Utah quarterback.
And then we got Shota Umino on Monday. That's a real test. I really want to see how
it's tough. However, keep in mind that Shota Umino has not done well so far. Only got 2 points.
That's true, but I am weary of anybody who spent that much time with Jon Moxley.
That's fair. That's a good point. Yeah.
On to wrestling that we saw this week. AEW. We're just going to talk about Collision. First, does the Elton John song Being Gone matter to you in the slightest?
Yes.
Oh, it does. Okay. What are your thoughts?
Because I thought it was the perfect intro song to me.
It was the perfect intro song, but I do not care enough to have an opinion on this.
To me, it just kind of feels like. I mean, I'll be fair. I am the CM Punk fan.
Yeah, the Chicago guy.
I am gonna rant about this.
Huge Elton John guy, also.
I mean, I am a big fan of the only wrestler I know of to use Elton John's entrance theme, that being Effie. So,
Yeah, that's.
I just think that like it represents that Collision has changed.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it just feels like Dynamite too.
Yeah.
Which is not what I want from a second
Well, here's
wrestling
what's
show.
gonna be. Here's what's gonna be, guys. It's gonna be SmackDown and Raw. There's gonna be times where Dynamite's better. There's gonna be times where Collision's better. It's just gonna flow up and down. But ultimately, Dynamite was the first show, and it's always gonna be the baby. You know what I mean?
It feels like the not brand split era of Raw and SmackDown to me.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. But I'm not really talking about that. I'm more just talking about the quality of the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Dynamite's gonna be higher sometimes. Collision's gonna be higher sometimes. They're gonna ebb and flow.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It feels like it's the not brand split when, like, oh, Raw was better this week and SmackDown had a better match that week, so on and so forth.
Oh, so you're talking more of week to week, not like era.
Yeah,
not like
week
year to
to
year.
week,
Okay, I was
yeah.
talking bigger picture. But
Okay,
yeah.
but bigger picture, I can see that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like right now it's just like that. And it's just we're in a down period for Collision.
Mhm.
We need a random guy to come book it again and make it
MVP.
better. Yeah, there you go. I
MVP
agree.
booking Collision.
I feel like Tony Khan booking both shows is kind of showing. Kevin Nash, not the best booker, but he had trouble. He had a lot of trouble booking five hours a week. So
Vince McMahon, I mean, for all the bad he's done with the pin and without the pin, right? He's considered the greatest wrestling promoter of all time, right?
and it's the cracks started to show when SmackDown came on the air.
Yeah. So it's just hard to book that much TV a week. I understand. So if he has booking like kind of subcommittees, like not head writers like how WWE has, but if he has like his assistant, his Dynamite coordinator and his Collision coordinator and his Ring of Honor coordinator, that'd be pretty helpful. Probably.
I mean, like when Punk booked Collision was the best show around,
Mhm.
but Dynamite was also really good too.
I guess talking about that, what did you think of the CM Punk comments about wanting to stay with WWE forever and potentially book NXT?
I've seen a lot of people saying he has no other options. I'm sorry that his no other options is making a lot of money for as long as he wants.
He could always start his own company.
That's true.
He could start the Punk Rock Wrestling Association.
Well, that's kind of already GCW, but I feel like if your only option is WWE, you're doing something right.
Yeah, and also it's not his only option. He could always, in his retirement, work. I mean, I don't think he'd ever wrestle for TNA, but in his retirement, he could work for TNA. He has. It's not like he severed ties to. I mean, he could work with Pro Wrestling Noah at some point if he wanted to. He could.
It's just he clearly wants to book.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think he has a great wrestling mind too.
Again, I'm going to say, look how good Collision was when he booked. You try to tell me that tag team match of the Bullet Club Gold and FTR was not the best tag team match you've seen in years.
It might be one of the best just TV matches in general.
Yeah, and that's the levels.
It's right up there with like Kenny and Danielson.
That's the levels of like what we could have. In NXT, which was like a return to that black and gold
and the
type
other
of
thing is
super
like,
booking.
Yeah, he's gonna bring a bit of Ring of Honor to it again, which is why it worked so well the first time, because it was a super indie, like you said. It was.
Did you imagine CM Punk booking Javon Evans though? That's like the type of talent that a super indie guy wants.
He's gonna book Javon Evans the way Kofi Kingston should have been booked from the start.
Javon Evans is not going to lose a single match.
Yeah,
and I will thank him for it personally.
Like the push that Kofi Kingston should have got after that 2009 Orton feud, he's gonna give Javon Evans that. And I do. I mean, I think Javon Evans is a better athlete overall than Kingston, but I kind of see some Kofi in him.
Javon is a super freak that I will never shut up about. He
Yeah.
is pound for pound maybe the best athlete in the right now in terms of just like the athletics he can do.
Otis. I'm just kidding.
Tell me, I mean, Otis is one of those guys who you wouldn't believe would be able to do some of his moves, but
No,
tell me when Otis does that crazy move that happened at NXT last week. You know,
Javon Evans, when Ricochet was there, he was rivaling. Like, he was in the conversation with Ricochet. But back to Collision, Sky Blue, or for first, I mean, Sky Blue was injured. Sad to see. No updates on that. But what I meant to ask about first, we talked about the new intro. What do you think of the look of the esports arena for Collision for the residency they're doing in Arlington?
Somebody said on Twitter that this is the kind of arena that should have run for the entire existence of AW, minus when they were selling out in Chicago, in Dallas. When they sell out crowds, it's big. When they don't sell out crowds, this is the kind of arenas they should be running. Like they do in KC, the 250, the 2,500, the 5,000, like that range. Because even though it's smaller, just the more like,
Well, it kind of felt like Full Sail.
yeah, it feels like, you know, the more of like
Or,
closer everybody feels to like the whole
Or like,
action.
obviously, way better wrestling, but it felt like TNA in Universal Studios. You know, and stuff like that. I like when they have kind of like that look to them. It's more intimate. I kind of like that. You know, it makes the crowd more of a character than when there's just this huge wall of people behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's compilations of fans freaking out at the Impact Zone. You'll never see that for a SmackDown or a Raw.
Yeah, because there's so many of them. So and then on the actual show, what we saw, I really liked the FTR promo. I know people are clowning Cash Wheeler a little bit for what he said, and I know some people are tired of Young Bucks FTR, but it's one of those things that just doesn't get old for me. You know what I mean? It's like Cena and Orton. It just doesn't get old for me.
I'll be real. I'm just tired of the Young Bucks right now. I think they need like a whole reset of whatever they're doing. And I think the perfect opportunity to do a total reset of whatever they're doing is against FTR.
Okay. Yeah. What would be the reset? What would you pitch?
Just give me the FTR clamoring that they lost their way.
Or the Young Bucks clamoring that they lost their way, or what?
The Young Bucks, the FTR saying that the Young Bucks have lost their way.
Yeah.
They're too focused on being the elite, being the EVPs to.
So what's the character change you want to see from the Young Bucks?
Drop the EVPs as to being Matt and Nick and being the Young Bucks like they first were in AEW. It's just
But
for a little.
people were tired of that.
Just
too.
for a little bit, not forever. Not forever.
I think
I think they can. I think the way they got an EVP thing is that they'll.
I think they need a true Chris Jericho style reinvention.
That's yeah, and I think it's kind of what I'm going for.
Like the problem with this EVP thing, I think, is that they still tried to be the funny Young Bucks they've always been. They should have gone full 08 Jericho, suit and tie, super serious. Like they're just trying to be too funny.
I think,
and so it doesn't really feel that much different from what they were doing.
Yeah, I think it's it. I think just for against FTR, they should go back to that whenever they first were in AW, but it shouldn't work. Yeah. It shouldn't work. They should get booed for it, and FTR should win pretty easily, and that is what's going to reset the character.
I don't know what they could do off the top of my head. I don't have any ideas.
They can still be the EVPs.
Face paint, maybe? Would that help?
They can still be the EVPs, but I think they'll be more serious.
Supernatural gimmick. They become vampires.
They run a show in Allen Fieldhouse. Supernatural gimmick. They commit to the bit. They're built from Lawrence. They run a show in Allen Fieldhouse. It'll be great.
Okay. And then Hologram, is it confirmed that's Aramis?
I don't want to say it's been confirmed, but
because that's whose cage match page it links to.
I'm pretty sure it is, because Lucha Blog said it was, and Lucha Blog is really one of the better follows to follow for Lucha in English. So
Mhm.
I would say so.
What do you think of his debut against Gringo Loco?
It was really good.
What a perfect competitor to have him debut against.
Gringo Loco is the guy you should be bringing if you have a.
He's a fun combination of like a good base for flippy moves, but also can flip around himself.
I mean, he is Gringo Loco. He's the crazy foreigner.
Yep.
Like he's everything you could want.
Like,
He
okay.
has the experience in lucha, but he's also like
How
ready to take the job.
far realistically can you see a guy like Hologram going? Is he world champion guy? Is he an international champion guy? Is he maybe finds a tag partner? Like where
I think
Ring of Honor champion? Like
international is that above your TNT title to you?
same plane basically.
So I would say a little bit above that. He'll challenge for the world title. He won't win it, but he'll challenge for it.
So
I like my lucha guys, so keep that in mind. It's unique. Right now, it's unique.
But like,
and the moves in the ring are helping the case.
Lucha guys rule, and I'll always say that. But how far do they really get in America? I mean, Ray's been world champion.
Ray's world champion
a few times.
Mystico arguably could be world champion now.
I don't think Ray's world title reigns even combined a year. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, he also got hurt all the time too.
Yeah, but like,
if they can capture that, they can capture that connection with the kids with the masks and everything, it's over. And that's my thing. Can you connect with the fans in that kind of way?
But like, I'm just saying, like, Rey Mysterio has connected with the fans, arguably more than, especially the kid fans, arguably more than anybody else ever, right?
Minus John Cena.
Minus like Cena and Hogan. Like he's at Cena Hogan level of connecting with the fans, right?
I think I choose the thing because this is AEW, so it's not WWE, and I think I keep that in mind.
Yeah, but like, look at Pentagon and Rey Fenix. Like, they are incredible. They're two of the best luchadors in the world.
Rey Fenix could win the world title to me. I think if they build him up right, he could win the world title.
Yeah,
that's just me.
We'll to see. I don't know. I'm skeptical of how well Lucha Libre works because also my whole life I've been seeing WWE try to figure out the next Rey Mysterio, and it just hasn't happened.
And they had it, but they'll never admit they had it because the guy was kind of an asshole about it. But and also, I mean, it's both.
Well, they
fault.
tried it with Sin Cara.
They really could have had it. I'm gonna be real. If we take current Mystico and drop him in like 2011 Sin Cara, it works.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they had it with They tried it with Sin Cara. They tried it with Kalisto. They're trying to do it again now with Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee's not gonna work, but I'll tell you, it's gonna get closer than any of those Kalisto and Sin Cara got.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I love my Lucha guys.
They should give Mystico a second chance.
But I just don't know how far it's going to go. I don't know.
I
hope for the best for Hologram.
Ray was able to wrestle WWE style. You have to be able to wrestle WWE style. That's why Sin Cara failed against anybody not named Ray or Alberto Del Rio. It's why Kalisto failed because he was more of an indie guy. It's why Dragon Lee's not going to be your top because he can't really do it as well as he does lucha stuff. So I don't know.
But like you said, this is AEW. It could be a little different. We'll try to see. And then the Patriarchy captured the Trios titles. What do you think of that?
I really like the Patriarchy, so I can't really complain. But I'm going to be a homer here and say it's been too long, far too long since House of Black had those titles. Yeah. It's been about a year to me.
It's been too long since Juice Robinson's been a proper champion.
I agree, but
he
also
should win the FTW
kind of
title.
Out. So, you know what? He should have. He shouldn't win it. He should find it.
Yeah.
And just be called the champion.
Yeah. Chris Jericho just sets it down in catering and he just takes it. He's like, "This is mine
now." No, not only does he take it, he holds it like a dog and growls.
Okay, hear me out. Chris Jericho leaves it at a steakhouse.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Anything else from AEW before we move on?
No, I'm looking forward to next week's pod a little bit more.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw this week. Let's see. I forgot to change the notes on this because it's pretty similar to last week, but we'll just go go down what happened. So we started with. Oh no, that is last week. Shoot, my bad. Bleach report. There we go. All right, we started with the Gunther Damian Priest promo. We also had a Raw last week to think about in this as well, where we got a bunch of some Gunther Damian Priest stuff. What do you think of the way they're taking this storyline with the whole Gunther calling Priest a bum thing?
I don't. I think Gunther is better than MJF is, but it's kind of just the same thing. I have money. You don't have money. Ha 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 ha.
I mean, the bum thing kind of makes me think of Danielson and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Except for Eddie Kingston's way better than
Damian
Damian Priest.
Priest ever was or has been. Shout out to Punishment Martinez, by the way.
Yeah. And they had a big brawl, but I don't know. Does that anything for you?
It's clear that Damian Priest is gonna win. Like I'll be real, just with the way that they had Gunther make fun of him being homeless. If he doesn't win the feud, that's a horrible look. So I think Gunther does.
Heat.
It is heat. You're right, but I think Gunther does deserve that title for 573 days at the minimum.
And hey, where is the next pay-per-view after SummerSlam?
It's in Berlin.
Berlin walks into Berlin with the title.
Wins it in Berlin. It'd be a bigger moment.
But if he walks into it with the title, he could face Ilya Dragunov.
Crap. You're right. You're so right, actually. You know what? Let's just have it be a triple threat where Damien gets knocked out in the first 5 seconds and can't finish the match.
Speaking of Ilya, Brum Breaker beat Ilya to earn the shot against Sammy. Do you like going this way, or should they have gone triple threat?
I like the way it went down. I think when I flew back and they had to throw that with Sheamus, I think it was like, yeah, they can do triple threat, but that triple threat was really good. But I just prefer the one-on-one Braun Breaker matches because now Braun Breaker is going to win his title in 5 seconds or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And then the biggest thing from Raw, I think, CM Punk is cleared. Drew McIntyre's suspension lifted. They aren't allowed to touch until SummerSlam, but they will be wrestling at SummerSlam with special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth Rollins needs to find shorter shorts than what Shawn Michaels wore.
Okay.
It's the only way.
Has to be. I saw someone online.
3-inch inseam.
I saw someone online show the clip of when Shawn was the referee for Brett Taker, and he hits Taker with the chair instead of Brett and helps Brett win. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be good.
Great promos from both. Again, as always.
Great promos.
Punk may have injury problems now, but you can never take away what he is on the
You'll
mic.
never. That's the thing. When he's hurt, he's still a guy people want to see because he'll still show up every single week and cut a promo.
One of the best promos of all time. Yeah.
Also, I can make so many jokes about how a straight edge superstar recovering from an injury. Oh, and CM Punk was there too, because Punk always kind of if he sees somebody he knows in the crowd, he'll go to him, he'll give him like a hug and everything.
I saw that. I don't know who that guy is.
It's the guitarist of Harm's Way, and he does the Hard Lore podcast. It's Bo Looters. Shout out to him. Love the music, but it's like he always like will show love to that. Like that crowd, people who like he enjoys like the hardcore and the punk. He'll always show love to that, which I really like.
So do you think the special guest ref inserting Rollins in is a good decision?
Yeah, I would. It fits the story.
I like it too.
No matter like, if it's like a bad wrestler or not, it fits the story, so it's a good decision. And also, it's Rollins, so it'll be a fun match.
Do you think they end up pull the trigger and just let this main event?
No.
You still think Cody Solo's going on last?
Because I fully believe Roman is going to return. Then, if that goes on last, Roman's coming back.
What's more surprising, that going on last, Roman coming back, or that being on first and Roman coming back?
First, because there's no way Roman's going to... Well, actually, you know what? Roman probably could fly in for that first one, so who knows? I think first Roman coming back, because if Roman comes back...
if you open the night with Solo Cody, And then right after the match, Roman comes back. That's a huge moment to open SummerSlam, and now the fans are juiced.
On the flip side, the fans could be that was the peak, and they think it's not going to get any better. We can just go. So I don't know.
Yeah, but the CM Punk Drew thing is the hottest storyline in professional wrestling.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I can see it being either way.
Well,
I just think that because of a Roman return, I think Cody Solo is going to go on last because they want people to leave happy and say, "Holy crap, Roman's back and he beat up Solo Sikoa! Thank goodness."
yeah, and then let's see, Sheamus had a solid match but he was before it was gonna be Pete Dunne. Sheamus had a solid segment beating down Dunn and Bronson Reed, and then he had a good promo. That's what happened this week.
Sheamus did something good. Water is wet. Yada yada yada.
What do you think of the Rhea Ripley Dominic Liv thing? Dominic just straight up says he hates Liv.
I don't like it.
You don't like the story,
I
or you don't
don't.
like where this went?
Yes.
Okay, well, because I've been into this story,
I don't like it.
and apparently it's capturing the casuals. The casual wrestling fans.
Anything to Rhea Ripley will capture the casuals. Let's be real. She has all the potential in the world to be the biggest star in
the
wrestling.
thing is, Dominic has to end up with Liv with this, right? We can't just return to the status quo after this whole storyline, right?
If they want to keep him heel, yeah, but also Rhea's so popular that it's not going to hurt Dom by staying with her.
I just think that why even do all this if Dominic doesn't end up turning on Rhea and joining Liv?
I guess you're right. I mean, yeah,
Because it would
this
end up
doesn't feel like a one match kind of feud.
exactly.
So I think Dom.
You know what it feels like? It feels like it leads to a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood.
Really?
I think Bad Blood's gonna have Hell in a Cell matches, and I think they're gonna be Drew versus Punk and Rhea versus Liv.
Oh no, it's gonna, because there's no way they don't do it. What this is 20. How old is my cousin? Oh God,
97.
97. How many years has it been?
27 years since the
So
first Hell in a Cell.
that's to me, it just makes sense to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you haven't done Bad Blood since like 04,
Mm-hmm.
so you might as well.
Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting way to blow this off. Trying to think if there was anything else from that segment that was worth talking about, but the real storyline pushing thing is that Dominic said he hates Liv. I think it has to. Like I said, I think it has to end up because
But also,
it's like the Seth Rollins Drew thing where it was, or not Drew, Seth Rollins Priest thing where it was like, oh, I'll never challenge again, and they just threw that out the window, so it didn't matter.
But also keep in mind that Liv's character should not get Dominic in the grand scheme of things.
No, she doesn't. The Liv character doesn't, I guess, deserve Dominic, but the storyline, the way it should play out, he should end up with Liv.
I guess I can see your point.
You know what I mean? And then it's a different type of relationship dynamic. And then how does that play? How does that relationship play out? Because also, like before Rhea got injured, where were we really going with the Dom Rhea relationship?
Dom is out for like still most of the year, so it's just having to be on TV.
Yeah, so like it didn't feel like that, but it felt like we were like, what were they going to do, a wedding segment? You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't think they would do that, but I don't know.
It would have been funny because.
And then just the last bit, Sami Zayn working with Jey Uso in the main event.
Yeah.
Do you think that leads into more bloodline stuff potentially for Sami?
I hope not.
All right.
Right now I hope not, but if Roman comes back, I do hope so because that's War Games right there. Yeah. And give me Jacob Fatu in a War Games match, please.
That'd be awesome. All right, you want to do some predictions?
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
We had Death Before Dishonor this week. We don't talk a lot of Ring of Honor on this show, but we like to talk about their big shows because those seem to kind of matter.
The Death Before Dishonor,
we
the
have
Ring of Honor, the Final Battle.
I'm sure we'll get like at least 3 more matches announced, but right now we have 5 matches. First, we have Diamante versus Layla Hirsch. I have no read, so I'm just going to guess Hirsch on a whim.
Yeah, I'll say Hirsch, too. I like her more like Diamante, so.
Billy Starks versus Red Velvet.
Starks.
For the Ring of Honor Women's TV title.
Starks.
Yeah. Wheeler Yuta versus Lee Moriarty.
Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, that was my pick too
Is this for a belt?
for the pure title.
No, because it's going to be Wheeler Yuta and he's going to face Daniel Garcia for the 15th time.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Moriarty.
No, it's going to be Moriarty.
You picking Moriarty?
Yeah.
Okay.
I needed to get off of this Wheeler the Wheeler Yuta Daniel Garcia feud to this title was too long.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Wheeler's been out for I don't know how long
And they never took the title.
still
off
had
of
the
him.
belt, it shows how little he cares about Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Ring of Honor Women's title, we have Athena versus Queen Aminata. I think it's Athena.
Give me Queen Aminata.
Okay. And then for the Ring of Honor World title, Mark Briscoe defends against Roderick Strong.
Mark Briscoe should
I'm going Roddy.
hold that belt until the day they close Ring of Honor.
You're going Mark Briscoe?
I don't want to see Mark ever lose that belt. There's no reason for him not to lose that belt.
What about... I would like to see Roddy win it, and I would really like to see a rematch at All In. I don't know.
But what do they do until All In? Until look, Maxwell, we have a title too.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Roddy. See how that goes. So those are our picks for Death Before Dishonor. I didn't have any miscellaneous notes this week. Just nothing really came to mind as I went through my week. As far as favorite things of the week go, this is the segment where I give out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dog. You give out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake. What's gonna get the bronze handshake this week?
Swerve Okada.
All right. Got to end it in a DQ finish. I wasn't a huge fan of that. I am going to give the bronze to Punk, Drew, and Seth. I think that they earned that one. What gets the silver handshake?
The 60-minute match between Maxwell and
Will Ospreay. Okay, my silver is Chad Gable for the couple weeks he's had. And what's your gold?
It's gotta be Javon Evans.
Javon Evans?
Every clip I see of Javon Evans every few days is something I haven't seen any other person do.
Okay. My gold is MJF Ospreay, but I do want to give an honorable mention, and we didn't talk about this. Did you see not the Raw that happened this past Monday, but the one before, the Eric Rowan promo? Just goosebumps.
This
like,
Wyatt's... I think the actual name is super dumb. I think the Wyatt 6 is the dumbest name they could have given it. But what they have going on with it is putting me back into a story I didn't really care about.
Well, because when they first debuted, it was that next episode right after they debuted was when it was just me and Joe over an episode, and I talked about how the supernatural things don't grab me usually, but what's different about this, because like I respected the Undertaker, I never loved the Undertaker. Same with Kane. In any of the Wyatt stuff, I respect all that. I never really loved it. I think the Firefly Funhouse was really awesome. That did really get me. But who didn't that get?
Yeah. That got my roommate who didn't watch any wrestling because
yeah,
of
like the whole
for a while.
I looked forward to that segment on SmackDown like every week.
And I think every time we get the Fiend, I say, oh, I really wish they would have just given him that demented children's TV show host gimmick because that would have been so much fun. But again, I didn't really care for the Fiend. I'll be real.
The Fiend didn't really grab me.
I didn't really care for it. I know everybody else did, but
what's grabbing me about this is how kind of grounded it is compared to some other supernatural stuff. It's like based in the reality of grief in a family, and I think that's going to be really interesting moving forward.
It feels like this gimmick is going to be like they're all going to like. I feel like they can all have these characters leave for the group and go through the 7 stages of grief that way. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be really cool too. Mm-hmm. I think acceptance would be Bo finally just leaving the Uncle Howdy mask somewhere. Mm-hmm. I think it could work. I don't know.
Lightning round matches we are going to see this week. We only have WWE ones, nothing for AEW announced yet. On SmackDown, we have LA Knight versus Santos Escobar.
6.
Okay. Bailey and Mia Yim versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton.
Poor Tiffany. What they got doing in Tiffany? What the heck? 3.
Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin versus the Gorillas of Destiny versus Pretty Deadly versus Anderson and Gallows versus the Street Profits versus Legado del Fantasma for number one contendership to the tag team titles. It's a scramble or whatever.
Okay, well, I like scramble matches, and I'm extremely curious to see if we're gonna get God versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. That actually might be the most interesting pairing they could do in that match.
God probably wins, right?
I'd probably say so. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 because I'm afraid of a God win, and I think a lot of those guys are gonna be able to hold up together.
What I like most about this is it gets Johnny Gargano on the SummerSlam card in Cleveland.
You're right.
And then on Raw, we have Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville versus Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter.
I'll give it an 8.
Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross.
3.
And Finn Balor versus Gunther.
That's 10.
That's the Talent of the Week. Yeah, that's fair.
I wish it was Fergal Devitt versus Gunther, but beggars can't be choosers.
Prince Devitt versus Walter.
I guess if we had to say something, yeah, I would prefer if it was Devitt versus Walter, all things considered. But
yeah, it'll still be really good. Match recommendation of the week, I'm going with Bobby Lashley versus John Cena, Great American Bash 2007. I think that's our recommendation for the week. Go check out that
I'll
match.
give you that.
Talking about Lashley this week. We'll go with that. If you want to listen to more of us, check out the G1 Climax Final 28 from 2018. We did a review on that last week. And next week, or later this week, we will be releasing Death Before Dishonor 6. So we will be... So look out for that one. And the poll for this week, if you listen on Spotify, if you don't, just leave it in the YouTube comments. Where should Lashley go? The options I'll probably put on there will be WWE, New Japan, AEW, TNA, or just other. Tell us where you think he should go. We will be back again next week. We'll probably record at our normal time next week, so it'll be kind of a less to talk about, but still we'll see how that goes. Talk about Death Before Dishonor, Bloodsport 11, everything that happens in the G1. Thank you for listening, and enjoy wrestling.